Well, friends, it's been some dark days on the homestead. I'll tell you what's going on. Hey friends, welcome back to Renewed Homestead. Ben and Denise here, and how about that view? Isn't that beautiful? It's the mountains of western North Carolina. We are just so blessed to live here. But along with that blessing, there's always some not so good things that happen around here. And it's been several days, and we're just trying to muddle through some things. Started off, I guess we'll start off talking about our sheep. Now, Billy over at Permapastures Farm says it is harder to find an honest butcher than it is a used car salesman. Yeah, I said that right. And so, we've got Mr. Sirloin, who we will be taking to the butcher here probably in 9 months, 8 months.
About a year, yeah.
When he gets upsized. But so with that in mind, we thought, well, let's check out. There's a couple butchers that we wanted to check out. And so we thought, all right, well, we can process the sheep ourselves. So we had 3 sheep that needed to go. So we thought, all right, let's step back a little bit. We called this butcher and we said, are you guys USDA certified? Because we want to be able to sell our meat. Yep, we are. Okay, well, this is over in Tennessee, an hour and a half away. We stopped in and we talked to him in person. Yep, USDA will stamp it and all that, whatever it is they do. And okay, great. We called and made an appointment to get the sheep in. You're USDA? Yep, sure are. So Saturday morning, we got up early, loaded up the sheep. and then we drove an hour and a half and dropped them off. I'm like, all right, it's early. Let's grab a quick bite. And we were sitting there, and it's like, well, do they stamp each package, or how does that work? So I call them up. Oh, we don't do that here. We're not USDA.
Yeah, we called about the packaging.
Yeah.
And when we dropped them off, the kid that took the animals and said, yes, our USDA inspections are on Wednesday.
Yeah, so we were told 4 times USDA.
Yes.
Wound up getting the owner on the phone, and he's like, well, no, you can go to the USDA website. They have to be listed there. Well, maybe you should, tell your employees to pass that information along, because everybody lied to us up to that point. And he wasn't going to offer anything. And I asked him, said, well, are you going to give us
they were already processed. They were already dispatched by that point, because we were going to go pick them up.
Yeah. He's like, well, they've been dispatched, so we couldn't just go get them.
Whether they had or not, who knows at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that they weren't still sitting there looking at them. But anyway, so he's going to offer us a price break and take the loss. Oh, you poor thing. It's his business. So anyway, I won't go there. But yeah, so as Billy said, it's hard to find an honest butcher. So we got to wait a few days, and we'll get our sheep back. And
we got to figure, so we were going to go sell them at the farmer's market. That was going to be kind of our first foray into selling our meat. But now it's not going to be USDA approved. And because of federal government overreach, and because our government doesn't understand that our founding fathers were farmers, but that's a whole nother video. We cannot, because it's not a USDA facility, we cannot go just sell the sheep at the farmer's market. So I'm sure there'll be friends or family. Sure. But the fact is that, and the guy's like, well, you can just go. They're not going to come find out on Saturday. I'm like, okay, if somebody complains and turns this in, I don't know if y'all are paying attention to what's going on with the Amish
in Pennsylvania,
but we don't want to deal with that. That's why we can butcher ourselves, but we chose to do this so we could sell them at the farmer's market, and it's just been a fiasco.
Yeah, he's like, well, the USDA doesn't work on Saturdays. You don't have to worry about selling at the farmer's market. That's not the issue here. Anyway, so, all right, so fine. We, throw our hands up. We'll get our sheep butchered. They'll be in the fridge.
I'm still mad.
Yeah, well, we're both very mad, and now we're on the hunt to find a butcher that's USDA.
Yes, because we can do it ourselves, and once we start building up more, the point was that this was going to move us in, and then hopefully we can start selling like a quarter of our sheep or half a sheep or a whole sheep, and then we can do it ourselves or take it to a non-USDA butcher because they own part of the animal. But we are just starting out on selling our meat, so this was going to be kind of a way to introduce ourselves to everybody at the farmer's market and in town. So that option is now gone, so we're trying to figure out how we're going to sell the meat.
Yep. So you're in Western North Carolina and you're looking for sheep meat, pasture raised, happy sheep. Anyway, all right, so we got home, sort of got over that, and we've been nursing along poor little Sissy, our Nubian goat that we just adore, and sadly Saturday night she passed. We could not keep her alive. We've warmed her, chemically warmed her.
A few weeks ago we lost her babies.
Yeah.
So we believe coccidiosis, but we're not positive. And then we tried to nurse Sissy along, and as y'all know, we had gone to the vet. We don't worm, but we did worm them, and we still lost her.
Yeah.
So that was really difficult.
Yeah, because we adore those goats.
Yeah, they're so sweet.
They smile at you. Who
they're
doesn't love
so
an animal
sweet.
that smiles at you? But so we decided that we can't do that anymore. We love them, but we are not capable of taking care of them to keep them healthy. So we reached out. We found a wonderful couple that more or less has a rescue.
Yeah, and they don't just have a rescue. They do have it's a homestead.
Well, right.
He's a sheep shearer, and their farm's Fern Gully. And I talked to him. He said it was fine to mention him.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah, really great people.
Super
and
nice.
So if you need sheep shearing in Western North Carolina, Fern Gully, and I'll put their contact info in the description. But they came out and very knowledgeable. I talked with them for quite a bit, and they came out and picked up Laverne and her babies.
Yeah.
So it was a very difficult decision.
Yeah.
But we knew we needed to get her to somebody that had more experience with that kind of goat. We're finding out that a lot of dairy goats really struggle with parasites, especially here because we're in the South. We're in the mountains, but we're in the South. It's very humid. It's very wet. And we've never had the issue with our sheep and our cows.
Nope.
And we really thought, okay, if we just move them, right, they'll be fine. But the goats just, I don't know if it's bad genetics or what. They're the sweetest, greatest goats.
Yep.
But I felt like I couldn't watch Laverne die. So we found a home that is used to dealing with Nubian goats. And it was actually, he spent like 2.5 hours with us.
Oh, easily.
Educating us on what to do and what he's found out and what their experience has been. And we learned a lot.
Yeah, and he came out. We still have Euchre, and he came out. He trimmed his hooves. He gave him, what? He gave him two, not injections, but by mouth he gave him what?
Yeah, well, one Cydectin, because Euchre is now our buck. We're getting him healthy so we can find him a good home.
Yeah.
But he's also looks like he's succumbing to parasites or coccidiosis.
Skinny and diarrhea and just a mess. So
yeah, so and he's been struggling with his hooves, and Ben's been trimming them. So it was nice to find out that you were doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yep.
That he went ahead and did that for us so we could keep him healthy. Then we can find him a good home.
Yeah, we didn't just reach out and say, hey, we've got these goats. We were straightforward, honest, and said, these are unhealthy goats and we need help. We want to get them help. And so.
Yeah, and they're doing really good. It was hard. It was really hard. It was really hard. I just go out every morning and spend time with them and but we couldn't keep them healthy. And so we have decided we're looking at Akiko goats, and they are more of a meat breed. You can milk them, but they're more of a meat breed. But y'all can see, so we've got a lot of invasive species and a lot of weeds that we're also trying to combat here on the property. Now that's native, but that's Queen Anne's lace.
Yeah, don't want to eat that.
You can see if it's fuzzy, you're good. If it's not fuzzy, then you might want to be careful.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons we have goats, is because we do have a lot of invasive species, and they will eat those invasive species, and they'll eat things the sheep won't eat, and they'll eat things the cows won't eat. So that's why we kind of have these guys together. Kiko goats, I've done a ton of research. They're extremely hardy. They're great in the mountains. They're a New Zealand goat. They were a feral goat originally. They came, I believe, here in the 90s, I think. So we're looking at the Kiko goats to help, but we've just decided right now we're not doing the dairy goats until we get a little more experience. And y'all know we don't worm or regenerative farm, so that's one of the main reasons we also made that decision. We wanted to get her to somebody who had more experience that could get her healthy, but also we decided when we got into this that we wanted to do things regeneratively. So.
Yep. All right, so we thought you might like a different view of Western North Carolina because it is just so pretty, starting to sprinkle. But so so we've got Laverne's in a new home. We still have Euchre. Looking at the Kikos, they have horns.
Massive horns.
Boy, they've got horns, and they're big. They're big. I mean, you've seen Laverne in videos and how tall she is.
They're bigger than Laverne.
Yeah, but good.
But they're a meat goat.
Yeah.
So.
But we do, like she said, we've got all the invasive species, but we also have all those paddocks that we're setting up in the woods, and we need them to work some of that soil down and the stuff that's up there.
Plants down.
The plants. Well, the soil.
Work the soil down. Work the soil.
Well, they do need to work the soil down, as in if it's on a hillside, they'll actually create like deer trail where it levels it off. So they'll terrace for us. Let the animals do the work, right?
Yes.
So work the dirt down.
Yeah, so it's been a few days, but I didn't have it in me to do a video, to be honest. I just didn't.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of, the dark side of homesteading is you are going to lose animals, and unfortunately you're going to make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes wind up hurting your animals, and that's not what we ever want to do. We want to give them the best life possible. But it's, homesteading's not easy. This is the hardest part of homesteading by far.
Yeah.
Is when you lose an animal, I feel guilty dropping the sheep off.
Well, I was just going to say, it was hard leaving the sheep, we raised them. I mean, Spotify, adorable sheep, daughter of Spot and Fiona, who we adored Fiona, but she just got these genetics in her that she wanted to go through the fence, which led everybody else. And as Greg Judy says, they go in the freezer. So
yeah, and she had to go. But for us, it's like we raise them and we feel like it's our responsibility to process and butcher. But we thought we were doing it to sell the meat. But
You heard that story.
Yes. So, but you know, this is the dark side of homesteading, and this is something that if you want to homestead and you're not homesteading, these are the realities that you're going to have to work with.
Yep.
We thought we had the knowledge for the goats and, you know, with the Nubians, but we did get a really good education.
Oh,
so
amazing.
we learned a whole lot yesterday, so we will take those if we ever decide to do this again. But you know, for now we're gonna stick with the meat goats. They're a lot hardier. They don't have the parasite issues, and it's not something we'll have to worry about.
Right.
So we're looking at going to a farm to check them out, and we'll hopefully, if they don't mind, we'll take you along when we do check out the Kikos, so you can kind of get an idea of.
Yeah.
You know, all depends if the farm's okay with us recording.
Right. If they're okay, because you know we'll have questions for them, and that might be something that if you're ever doing this, hey, keep those questions in mind, kind of thing. But you know, not everybody wants to be recorded, so
No.
it's funny. I was talking to the logging guys, and they're like, I was so nervous doing that interview with you, that first one. I'm like, well, don't be nervous because I'm going to interview you again. I know a lot of you are asking how it's going. Well, we just said goodbye to them. They are almost done. They said probably had one more day of logging, and then they'll start cleaning up the roads and putting the water breaks in and all that. But we'll get you back up there. But they're up at the top. He actually stopped intentionally because he's like, that last little run is very steep. I suggest you stay off it with the four-wheeler. If you want to walk it, fine, but that four-wheeler could tip up on you, and he didn't want me to get hurt, so I do appreciate that. I know you appreciate that.
Yes, good guys, good guys.
Yeah, so anyway, I do want to mention October 5th. That's our get-together. You want to sign up, and if you want to meet Western North Carolina's best realtor, David will be there. And everybody asks, how did you find this place? He is the man. He's the one you want to talk to. He's going to be there. I believe his wife is going to be coming along, and just a great couple, and you'll enjoy getting time to enjoy time with them. So go to renewedhomestead.com/events. Get your register just so you know how many people are there.
Yeah, it's free, but we just have a cap, obviously, because we're meeting in our church's fellowship hall, so there's only so much space.
Right.
So,
and we haven't talked about it before, but we are going to do a seed exchange. Harvest season will be over.
Yes, I'm going to get out an email this week.
Right. But maybe that'll entice those that are kind of, on the fence. You want to be in on the seed exchange? Bring some, take some. Those are fun.
Yeah, we're gonna bring candy roaster seeds.
Of course.
Yes.
And maybe some other, who
maybe
knows what
some
else.
tomatoes. We'll see.
Yeah,
Definitely candy roaster though.
Tommy toes.
Oh, maybe.
Anyway, all right. So make sure you register for that. And since you're on the webpage anyway, go pick up your hori knife and your comfrey root. We have lots of comfrey root available. You know, we don't dig it up till you order it, and your deodorant. Nobody wants to stink in these.
Plantain salve, comfrey plantain salve, yeah.
Yes, there you go.
But go check it out. Everybody else is doing really well. The sheep are doing great. The cows are doing great. Little Anya's growing like a weed. Sirloin's growing like a weed. So
yeah, and
Fabio's doing really well.
Yeah, glad you said that. Tomorrow we're going to.
Yes, we're going to merge the Greg Judy sheep with these guys. They've been in. They had a little bit of scours.
Diarrhea,
which is normal. It's forage. They go from one forage to another. So their poop, for lack, is looking better, and so they're about ready to
merge with
be integrated.
Integrate them. But
yes.
Yeah. It's been a number of days, and we got rain coming. No, that's not the hurricane.
No, that's already passed.
I know. Yeah, I don't know what the media was saying, but my parents, her brother, everybody's calling, you guys doing okay? Mom asked if we were putting the animals in the house, which I wouldn't put it beyond her to put Anya in the house with us. But I'm like, no, this is about all we got from that hurricane was sprinkles, but that's why we live here. In fact, Mom still lives in Phoenix.
Well, we're 5 hours away from the coast.
Well, that's what I said. Mom, I'm just as close to the coast as you are. And she's like, yeah, I guess I could stop worrying. I'm like, that's why we picked here.
Yes, and Anya's special.
Of course she's special.
Call her my emotional support cow.
Everybody needs an emotional support cow, especially when you have to give up your emotional support goat.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I miss Laverne, but she's in a really good spot.
That's right.
She's in a really good spot.
We'll keep tabs on her.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope this was a blessing to you. I hope you found some value in this. And, if you've got questions, we did get quite a brain dump of goat knowledge. So if you're having problems with your goat, maybe we can help answer some of that too. So.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging in there. Take care. God bless. We'll see you all on the next video.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Make it so.